Okay, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. This is basically going to be a quick hitter. I was going to touch on, we got the day coming up where it's the last Sabbath, Shabbat, if you will, which means the day of rest. And then you have a new moon right after it, which is going to be like a back-to-back. I just want to give an example of that in the scriptures. It's well known, but, the Spirit hit me to do a video on it to edify for brothers that may not have a clear understanding on the new moon and the Shabbat, and what we're going into coming into this so-called weekend, because we're still under Esau's calendar. We're under Esau's time right now, but we're in captivity trying to keep our time, and our time is governed by the stars. Not the stars. By the moon and the sun. All right, and let me just get that real quick, being that I mentioned it. This is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. It says, "And the powers said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and for years." Right, so that's how we determine our days, our times, and our years. All right, because the word season is mawa'id in the Hebrew, right? And basically that word basically means dates, or times when you go into it. All right, so I'm gonna go into this scripture. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 5. I'm gonna read verse 5. Let me just get to the point. Saying, "When will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath day the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and satisfying the balances by deceit." Right, because they were being wicked. They wanted to falsify the balances on their people. Because they wanted to plant, they wanted to sell, they wanted to get back to business. Well, guess what? They had a Shabbat and a new moon coming. All right, and this is basically through extrapolation of the scripture, which it only makes sense. Why would they say, back to back like that? Why? Because we have something like that coming up with this so-called Friday night, right? Friday night going into Saturday night, and Saturday night going into Sunday night. All right, and basically that's what we are dealing with right now, and basically I want to touch on the fact of the matter that a lot of stuff is going on. I say in the past 2 years, where the Shabbat and the new moon has been falling on massive days, major days, if you will, for this society. Like I remember in particular when you go back, the Super Bowl, which that's like a fucking so-called high holy day for America. The Super Bowl of the Panthers and the Broncos fell on a new moon, fell on our high holy day, which is a Sabbath. Also too, I remember another Mayweather fight. He fought Andre Berto. When he fought Andre Berto, that fell on a Sabbath. You have a lot of events. Matter of fact, I think some of the NBA finals was on a Sabbath. But so basically the Most High is basically making separation, because he's trumping charges on the wicked, man. That's why the apostles they secretly let people know when let the brethren know, the temple of the Lord know when the Shabbat is, man. All right, because it ain't for everybody. Why? Because people are defiling the Sabbath, man. And then you got this major fight coming up. This is gonna be like the most major event in sports history. Since probably Pacquiao and Mayweather. I can't think of nothing else, but you got Conor McGregor and you got Floyd Mayweather about to fight coming up on this. It's going to be a Shabbat, And basically the Lord is separating his men. You know, who's going to be faithful, who's going to satisfy their flesh. All right? Because the Sabbath is the Lord's day, man. Out of all the days, you get 6 days out the week, man. I know, in this flesh, you work Monday through Friday. You want those days off. You want that time to basically, satisfy your flesh, if you will. Go with your own lust, if you will. Like Deuteronomy the 14th chapter says, after you pay your tithes, whatever your heart lusts, that's what you can indulge in, whatever your soul desire, man. But on the Sabbath day, that's not how it goes. It's the Lord's day. I'm going to just read it. This is Exodus chapter 20. All right? Exodus chapter 20, verse 10. All right? Verse 9, I'm going to start. Sorry, 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Right? That's plain and simple. The Sabbath day is holy. Sabbath day, the word holy is kodash in the Hebrew. All right? It means to be separate, man. All right? It says, 6 days thou shalt labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath day of the Lord, of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Thy power, in it thou shalt not do any work. Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Right? Because it's his day. All right? It's the Lord's day. Okay? And out of all days, that's the day you're supposed to, to the best of our ability, being in captivity, you're supposed to give to the Lord, man. The scriptures say in Colossians, it says, judge no man on the Sabbath day. Why? Because what? We're in hell. Just like when the Pharisees tried to bring up the accusation on the disciples of Yahushua, and they said, "Oh, is it lawful for you to pick corn on the Sabbath?" And then Yahushua said, "Did not even David eat the showbread?" Basically, the showbread was only for the Levites, but in his hunger, he ate. Now, you're not supposed to kindle a fire. You're not supposed to really cook on the Sabbath day. But sometimes, in the spirit, hey, man, we in hell. In certain conditions, we're not supposed to. I'm not. What does the scripture say? It says, "Give not occasion to sin." If I'm not mistaken, I'm not trying to make dang, I can't think of how the scripture go, but I'm not trying to give an occasion to sin, which it is sin. However, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua knows your heart. So if you gotta work, you gotta work. If the only food you got is frozen or whatever, hey, you know what? If the spirit's really on you, fast. That happens. And the way I look at it in the spirit, it's like, the Lord will bless you double, man. Because what? You fasting on his day. You really suffering. You really giving that day unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. Let me see something. I just want to look up something real quick. A scripture in particular. All right, just bear with me a moment. All right. And if you don't know, you should know that the Sabbath is dictated or declared based upon the new moon, which the new moon basically just means the first day of the month. The word moon is synonymous with month, and the new moon, which is the new month, all right, that's the first day of the month, all right. If you want to get what do you call it? There we go. This is the scripture I want. If you want to get a calendar of people that keep agriculture, they keep the new moon, all right. They watch based upon the moon, man. Because look, not scripture. There's a saying that farmers and there's a saying that farmers use. They say what? As is above, so is below. So in order to dictate your crops, you have to understand what's going on up above. And it's the same thing with us, because you got to know when to harvest. You know, you got to know when to harvest. You got to know when to plant. Just like in Amos the 8th chapter, he said, "When shall the Sabbath come?" So he said, so we could pitch wheat. Why? Because they wanted to plant wheat. Because they wanted to make money. So they had to know when the Sabbath day come. All right. Not only to sell, but to understand the times and the seasons. Because in order to plant, in order to sow, in order to know husbandry, you have to know the heavens. All right? And that's common knowledge that we have not been bestowed because of the captivity that we're in. All right? So I want to get this scripture real quick. I'll probably end it off here. You know, this is Isaiah chapter 56. All right? Isaiah chapter 56. Let me just make sure. Let me just get straight to the point. Bear with me a second. Right. Let me just get to the point. This is Isaiah 56 and 13. No. 58 and 13. Isaiah chapter 58 verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and thou shalt honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. Right, man? So, hey, man, the Sabbath is all about Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. You know? And, you know, with that, you know, I'm going to close up, you know, just basically I just want to hit the points, you know, in regards to the Sabbath and the new moon, you know. And with that, all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect.